My name is Jan Sako. I am the support and QC manager for Ideate Software, and I've been supporting our customers for installations and licensing, whether that's Autodesk or Ideate Software, for about 7 years now. And I am going to be your host this morning. We're going to be looking at our new tool calling Ideate Software Installer, and the idea behind this was to allow you to easily deploy our software, our solutions across your organizations, whether you're big or small. So Ideate Software Installer, or ISI, it's our newest little widget that we developed to help you all deploy our software quicker and easier and manage it easier. What can it do is it installs some or all our Ideate software solutions with one click, as you like. And it can easily standardize your licensing. That means if you are changing license type, say you had standalone, you're going to network, vice versa, you are changing your license server. There is a method for it. It's the license.config, but if I may say so, what you will see beats it hands down. And you can also create deployment packages. If you have different types of users in your organization, say you have your general user that will get Explorer, Sticky, and apps, and then you have the BIM manager group that might get Style Manager and BIM Link on top of that, or any other combination. You can create easily create packages for your software center or shortcuts in your shared drive, or however you may deploy currently, which will install the appropriate software for the appropriate user. Now, under the hood, what the installer does is it basically grabs all the MSIs that we loaded into the Ideate installers folder and installs them. It will install these versions regardless of what's there. So if you have a brand new computer, it will install these. If you have an older version, even if you have a newer version. So it's a brute force thing. You're telling it to install a version, and that's what it will do. As an optional, it will install, or it will set the licensing, and we'll talk about that a little later. The very simplest way to use this is download the zip file, extract it, and just run Ideate Software Installer, the exe. All it will do is it will install all of the solutions in the local computer. So if you were to be building an image, and that you will later then you ghost your computers basically with the image, you can use this to just install everything. Even for people that allow the individual users, you can grab this, you can put it on your network share, and that's it. They double click and it will put all the solutions there. You know what your users have, you know what they're getting. Whenever we release an update, twice a year, you can replace the package, and that's that. Most of the people will be customizing Ideate software. We know that not everybody installs everything, not everybody needs everything. The simplest way of customizing is you can open that Ideate software, Ideate installers folder, and you'll find the individual MSIs, and you just delete some of them or move them away. If you don't use 2018, I'll take all the 2018s out. If you know you're never going to use 2021 because you're jumping from 20 to 22, well, then get rid of 2021s. It'll make the package smaller. It installs a little quicker, and there is no really need to have a version if you know you're not going to use it. I know some customers do not have all our solutions, so you can also just remove the solution you do not currently have. The license configuration, this is actually one of the nicest things, one of the things that I like the most about it. And that is, if there's a text file included with the install, it's a blank text file right now, and you don't have to do anything with it. If you don't want to, you just run the installer and it will use the configuration you already have, or it will default. It will install the default settings if you do not have a license yet. So again, if you have a computer that's already configured with the correct license, you just leave that txt file blank and it won't touch it at all. If you are, however, say changing a server, you just type in the add server name into the text file and run the exe, and everything you install will have the new license server, which means no user interaction. This was one of our biggest must-haves for this tool, is to minimize user interaction after a software is installed. Now we have quite a number of solutions, right? We have 5 in total, coming up on 6 soon enough. We were hoping for the users not to have to activate and install and configure them all. The second thing that we built into this are command line arguments, switches, most of it just basic stuff. Silent, right? How would you deploy without a silent? So it works with the silent switch. And then the skip. Skip, again, does what it says on the label. This is what I meant when I mentioned building user-specific packages. The skip will skip over a product inside the installer. So you can install everything but Bimlink, IBL Bimlink, IEX, Ideate Explorer, ISB Sticky, IApp is Ideate Apps, and STL Style Manager. So you can skip all versions for a particular product. You can mix and match the switches, and then the skip will do the same for year. So if you have some users that don't have 18, you have some users that do, or 20, or enter your favorite year, you can configure the installer the way your particular users need it. As an example, right, you can have a no 2018, or you can have the second example would be, say, for if your style manager is you have the license, you have the product, but you want to only give it to certain people, then you would probably want to skip it for the general Revit user. Just like this. This is a package, comes as a zip, and we have the license txt file where you would enter the license code straight up if you have a standalone license, or at server name if you do not, or it can stay blank if you don't want to do anything with the license. And that's it. That's all you do. The Ideate installers, the MSI packages are here. I only have a few of them, so otherwise it will take a little longer. And that's it. You run it, and there. There's not much to see to it. All it does is it will report that something was installed. So what was in here in this folder, that's what we're seeing as running. It takes about 20 seconds, more or less, for this smaller subset, and that's it, done. And then we'll close itself. Like I said, very simple tool, but it does what it's supposed to, and I think this will be very helpful for you guys. Now, how do I get my hands on it? I think that's one of the big questions here. It is available right now. It is on our website. It can be downloaded today, the version that you have seen. Here's the link. If you ever need to find it and you don't have the link, you can always go to our homepage, right? Our website, ideatesoftware.com, starting off a free trial, and you have the list of all the solutions. Ideate Software Bundle is the very top one, and we have two download links here. The first one is a exe with a little UI that also installs everything. It's meant for trial users or those that really want to just allow the individual users to install and download. The second one is the Ideate Software Installer that we are talking about today. There's a little video, which is a very shortened version of this presentation. Just pick download and you're good to go. I also wanted to just briefly touch about the different ways you can download Ideate software, because it could be a bit confusing. We have the individual software, which is an exe that has a little UI and it lets you choose the version. But this is only, each solution have their own, and there's only one solution in them. And we have the bundles, which is the bundle install, the first one I was showing, and that one has all the solutions. But this is sort of where we're going, and it's more a little bit of a heads up towards the future. We are doing our best to get away from apps 2018 and BIMlink 19 and just have apps in BIMlink and Explorer and Sticky and so on. So this bundle is a little taste of things to come, and users can choose what to install, but not what versions. It will install all the supported versions. And then we have the Ideate Software Installer, which is a tool for you, for the BIM managers, for the IT, to have full control of what gets installed and where and how. And that is what I had. So if we have any questions, let me open this. If anything came up, I'm going to unmute everyone, so you are welcome to speak up. Although,
Josh, we do, or Jan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, we do have a question that was asked earlier that I want to make sure we get to. It was from Sash, and he wants to review whether he can skip a particular product and product year through the command line method.
Yes, so I can go back to my CLI screen, and that's what this actually does. So the second one is a silent install where it skips a product, style manager, and it skips, I have 2 years in here, but you can skip one if that's what you want. So that's exactly what this one is for. And with the process of elimination, this will install BIMlink Explorer Sticky of years 2020 and 2021 as it's set here. So I hope this answers the question.
Thanks. We also had a question from Alexander Dixon, who's asking about, he says he deploys software using GPOs from Share and wants to know if the new tool supports those types of deployments.
This is a group policy from a network share. If your method runs with an exe, it would work. It's expected to work. This is pushed out by you. It's not a user initiated process, correct?
I don't know if Alexander, you can unmute yourself if you want to.
Hello.
Yes, hi, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Sir. Hi. Yes. Yeah, we can push out. Normally, we push out executables or MSIs, and that's how we deploy Ideate currently.
So yes, it will work.
Okay.
It will work. It's really meant for, like, one of the big tasks this is supposed to accomplish is the licensing, right? If you are changing servers or if you're putting this into a new computer, when you deploy it the way it's set, and like I said, you don't have to mess with the license config. You don't have to wonder where to put it and what to do with it. You just put your license server there. I know the old style methods with that we used to do when we added this to Revit network deployment. We say Ideate license type. We have a lot of support questions when people are having trouble with syntax. Basically, you skip a space or you add an extra comma or something, and it just doesn't work, and people don't know why. So we try to make it as simple as possible. And at this point, it's a text file. You just put in the info. But
Okay.
yes, I would expect it to work with your method.
Okay, I mean, we'll give it a try. Absolutely. We actually have never had a problem deploying Ideate previously. I guess the only feedback would be there was quite a lot of versions, quite a lot of applications, and each time we package them up separately. So this should cut down on quite a lot of
Yes.
administration.
Yeah, that was the second thing. We were hoping to make it easier for you to have the latest.
Yeah.
A number of our applications recently have gotten a pretty significant uplift and lots of new functionality, and we would like your users to be able to take advantage of that.
Sure.
So hopefully this will give you a download twice a year, and that's that you can plug it into your existing scripts and everything. So there should be no changes needed.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have our next question from Robert Fink, who's asking if it's possible to push an update to update the license server name without installing the software.
At this point, it's not, but your users wouldn't notice. There would be no. I mean, if you're pushing it as a logon script or something, yes, you could. I would recommend to do what I've done here and basically just have one MSI for each product. Because if you have a 2021, if you change the licensing, the way it works, all the versions would change licensing. So you could do this. This is 1/4 of the time it takes to deploy everything. Yes, at this point, it doesn't do it if you don't install anything.
But if you want, I guess you could just capture the
You
license.
install the same one. Yeah, you can install the same version. I mean, you run the installer, right? It will just it won't touch anything else. If you have customizations, if you have new paths, or if you have your welcome screen or whatever customization you can do in Ideate software, that will not be affected by you reinstalling it, if that makes sense. So there's no downside running this with just one of each, or even the same package if you don't feel like deleting it.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. That does answer my question.
All right, cool. Thank you, sir. Any other questions?
Yeah, we had a question earlier about whether this method also could work for standalone deployments.
Yes, it could. The standalone deployments, as they are as of the May 20th release, it will work. It will populate the license fields. It will require the user to activate, though. That's because the way the licensing is working right now, standalone licensing. So the user will need to push an activate button. The license code will be pre-filled, but they still have to do it once per application. We are hoping to release a version soon here, in maybe another month or so, that will eliminate the need to do that. So the user experience for network license and standalone license will be the same. It will just work. The user will come to work in the morning, run the software as normal, and it will just work. There won't need to be any activation. But as of now, as of the latest May release, the standalone still need to be activated.
Perfect. Thanks, Jan.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
I don't see any other questions right now.
I think we are all right. So last chance for anyone. And I will thank you for your attending. Thank you for listening and being here with us today, and hope you were able to I hope you will be as excited about this thing as I am. Looking forward to hear any feedback when you get around to use this. Please, anytime, support@ideatesoftware.com. Send your thoughts back to us, or just use the survey right after this webinar. Thanks again, and you have a nice rest of your day.